Hey guys, I was part of Cohort 1 of Ali Abdaal's part-time YouTuber Academy course, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about my experiences with that course. We'll start off by talking about how the content was delivered, and then go into all the features and extras that were given as part of the package. I'll then finish by telling you whether or not I think it was worth it. Spoiler alert, it was totally worth it and amazing, but it isn't for everybody, so stick around to find out who I think it's for and who it's not for. What I really liked was right from the off, he was trying to overcome this perfectionism mindset. So the very first task that we had to do before there was any content even delivered was to film a 1 to 2 minute intro video of ourselves and post it to the forum instead of doing a usual typed post to introduce ourselves. Now he did his own and set the standard, which was great. It was filmed on his iPhone, there was no editing, there was no fancy cameras. It was just him talking and saying hi and asking us to do the same. So that was really good for someone exactly like me who does struggle with perfectionism. Had he done it with his fancy cameras and the editing skills, I would have been like, I can't live up to that. But what he's done is he said, guys, it doesn't really matter. At the beginning, it's just about putting content out there and getting comfortable on camera. And that was all that you had to do. Now, obviously there were people that were already more comfortable with that, already had their setups and were posting great videos, but that wasn't the point. And if you couldn't do that, there was no reason for you to feel bad. But if you could, then why wouldn't you? So I'm not saying those that didn't do it were not doing, the right thing. I think it was amazing that if you had those setups, and it kind of gave you something to aim for and aspire to. But it also meant that he filmed it on his iPhone, so you could absolutely film it on your iPhone. So that was something that really stood out for me from the beginning. Now, one of the other things that I thought was really cool for them to do was to just tell everybody to find an accountability buddy, because they know full well that it's so much easier for most people to be accountable if they have somebody else to be accountable to. So right at the beginning, it was a case of, guys, it's probably beneficial for you to go and find an accountability buddy, use the forum, find people, A, create those relationships, and B, start meeting with those people and putting the time in and really hold yourself accountable and make sure you are doing the homework assignments every week, because that's the most important thing. And I know for a fact that so many great friendships came out of those accountability buddies, so it was such an amazing thing. And I'm glad it wasn't formalized in that, like, no one was going to tell you off for not doing it, but it was such a great thing to put out there and really push. So the way that the course was delivered was that there were 3 live sessions every single week for the duration of the course, which was 4 weeks. And each of these live sessions was about 2 hours long. And within those 2 hours, it was split between 90 minutes of Ali teaching everybody and 30 minutes of open Q&A. And even within that taught 90 minutes, it wasn't all passive learning. The idea was to be as active as possible. So Ali would come prepared, and there would be set exercises to help us with whatever topic was being taught that day. And within that, instead of just going off and spending 5 minutes doing the exercises or probably not doing the exercises, what was really good and what set this apart was that they used breakout rooms. So what would happen is you'd be split up. So whoever was on the course, 200 people, would be split up into breakout groups of about 3 to 5 people. And what you'd do is you'd do the exercise together. And that way you would feed off each other. You'd also get to meet everybody else on the course, which was great. And every breakout session you'd be in a new group of new people. And you got to help each other with those exercises and really get to actually do them rather than say, oh, I'll get to it later, or just kind of do them and not really know what you were doing. So I thought that was really, really valuable and one of the best things about those live sessions. All of the sessions were recorded in full HD quality rather than just Zoom quality, which was great for anybody who couldn't attend the course. But I can't comment on what this was like because I think I ended up going to every live session. And I just felt it was more beneficial for me, but it also fit well in my schedule. So I can understand how it might not have worked for everybody, but I don't think it was to anybody's detriment. On top of the taught part of the course, there were also 4 homework assignments, 1 for every week of the course. And this is where Ali really focused, and he said, if you can't do anything else on the course, this is the most important thing for you to do, because this is what's going to give you a tangible result at the end of it. So even if you can't attend the live sessions, even if you don't get involved in the community and don't get involved in the forums or whatever, make sure you do the homework assignments, because it's all well and good doing all the planning, learning everything, gaining all this knowledge, but if you don't execute, it's completely pointless. So there was a lot of emphasis on just doing the homework. I'm not going to lie, I don't think I did the fourth homework, but it was a little different, so I think I can get away with it. But I definitely did the first three, and it really did help overcome the perfectionism mindset that I know I definitely struggle with, and something that came up a lot on the course, because it's so easy to overthink things and think that you have to have a perfect camera, the perfect lighting, the perfect setup, and without it, you can't film a video. But what was really good is that this was kind of put to bed, at least for those who did it, to just say, guys, the most important thing is to put out quantity over quality for your first 100 videos. And that's exactly how Ali started, and that's exactly what he was preaching on this course. So it was nothing new and nothing that he hadn't done himself. There was also homework club, and this was put on twice a week for 2 hours. The idea was that you would script, film and edit your homework in this 2 hours. Now, this served two purposes. One is that it would hold you accountable and give you scheduled time to actually do the homework. And two, it would overcome that perfectionism mindset, because instead of thinking you had 7 days and therefore spending ages and ages on your homework and overthinking it, it would give you a straight 2 hours to just get content out, which again was the most important thing and reiterated again and again. Now, the final thing that they had was, as well as the taught sessions, is there were guest workshops. So we had 3 amazing guests. We had Cam Hauser, we had Robbie Crabtree, and we had David Perel. And they talked about their respective areas, and there was so much good content in here. So Cam talked about how to film on an iPhone only, Robbie talked about storytelling, and David talked, of course, about writing. Now, these were so valuable, and it's so good to see other people come in and give their opinion and their thought process on this and adapt what they do specifically to YouTube. So I thought this was incredibly valuable, and it wasn't just Ali teaching to you every week. You could see the overlap with other things. There was also one more thing that I forgot. This course was jam-packed with stuff, which was great. There were peer support sessions. Now, disclaimer, I did end up becoming a peer supporter, which was phenomenal, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, the idea of these was to basically just get together and ask if anybody needed support. So if anyone felt overwhelmed or had any questions that they couldn't ask in class, or just wanted other people's opinions on things, this was the place to do it. So effectively, this was an area for everyone to have their say if they couldn't. Otherwise, maybe they were shy, maybe they didn't go to the live sessions because they couldn't make it. And the idea was, without being recorded, you could hopefully speak openly about things that you might not have felt comfortable to do otherwise. And without Ali being there, which would have just been a distraction, again, you could just get things off your chest or ask simple questions that you might have thought were stupid questions. I do that a lot. Now, no question is a stupid question, apparently, but I've asked some stupid questions. But this was that place where you could ask those questions, no judgment, and the community was so amazing that everybody just wanted to help everybody else. And to be honest, in helping other people, you end up helping yourself. So this was great, and I'm so grateful to have had these. I think at the beginning they were saying try and attend one a week, but actually what happened was most people were attending multiple sessions a week, if not all of them, because each one provided so much value and was at a different point in the course. So I joined up to the premium package, which meant there were 3 extras that came with it versus the essential edition. The first one of them was the fact that I could go on the next cohort for free, which is soon. And the second benefit was power hours. Now, I actually didn't take advantage of these, but I know that everybody that did really benefited from them. So these would run twice a day, 8 AM and 2 PM UK time. And the idea was that you would just turn up, videos on, mics off, and get some work done. So whether you were working on a script, working on your thumbnails or whatever. I can't comment too much on these because, like I said, I didn't actually turn up to them. I think I turned up to 1. And finally, the last thing, which again I haven't taken advantage of yet, was that there were extra interviews that Ali did with his amazing friends. If you think that is an insane amount of content and incredibly overwhelming, then you are not the only one. At times I was questioning whether it was a full-time academy or an actual part-time academy, because whilst doing a full-time job, I really did struggle at times to keep up. But I would rather have had it this way than the other way, because what it meant was that I didn't have to make decisions about my time or anything like that. It was literally go to work, do the YouTube stuff, go to sleep, and repeat, which was actually great because I got into a rhythm, and suddenly you find that you do have time to do the things that apparently I didn't have time for before. So I thought that was really good, actually. I haven't watched the extra interviews. There are things I could go back to. I could have not turned up to all the live sessions and done them in my own time. So there is a lot of flexibility there. It's not like you have to turn up to everything. Like I said, and like Ali kept saying, the most important thing was doing the homework assignments and not getting caught up with anything else. So yes, it was a little overwhelming at times, and I believe they've taken that feedback on board for Cohort 2 and have spaced it out a bit more. But at the same time, it was probably overwhelming in a good way, and this is where the peer support sessions and the community really came into their own, because you knew that you weren't alone, and there was a mentality amongst Ali's team and the peer supporters that there was no student left behind. So had you not done homework 1 or 2, it's not like that was the end of it and you'd have to drop out. It was, okay, that's great, but how do we get you on to doing homework 3 and 4 and then keeping up from there? So I thought that was really, really good, and an amazing mentality of them to pass down. So I just want to take a second here and say that this is my first proper YouTube video. I have put a couple out before, but not ones where I've taken on board all of the feedback. So this is probably my first official post YouTube Academy video. And I'd like to think you can see for yourself the quality upgrade, and hopefully some other upgrades in the actual content. But please let me know in the comments below if there is any difference or I wasted my time. That would be great, thanks. Moving on, so talking a bit more about my experience. So one of the things that we did at the beginning of the course was fill out a blueprint, which was effectively a questionnaire to establish what level we were at the beginning. And then what happened was there was a mid-point check-in and there was an end-of-course check-in to see the progress we'd made over the course. At least in my mind, I thought there was improvement. You be the judge. So in terms of the most value I got out of the course, there were 2 things that stood out to me. One was more practical, and it was the storytelling workshop and sessions. So this was about how to structure a YouTube video. And I really hope I'm taking this on board when I'm doing this and doing the editing. So the idea was that you're not starting with a blank page, you're starting with a framework. And I do love a framework because it means I don't have to think that much and I can just follow the steps. I'm not creative enough to come up with my own stuff. So a framework pretty much sets it out and tells you exactly what you have to do. So you just fill in the blanks almost with your story. So I thought this was amazing, and shout out again to Robbie for being such an amazing person, helping everybody, really being there for people and just teaching us. Now secondly, and I'm sure you're going to all roll your eyes, but it really, really was the community and the friendships that I made on this course. I'm one of those people that never believed in community, and I also rolled my eyes when people were talking about it, but I get it now. I understand. I finally found my people, so to speak, to quote Gerald Undone. So it was amazing to be in the company of these people, and I'll tell you why it was different. It's because I think YouTube is one of those things where you can have a lot of people dismiss the idea or think that it's not professional enough or that you're just wasting your time. And I know that a lot of people on their course didn't even want to tell their friends or family about the YouTube journeys that they were on because they didn't think that they'd think much of them. So to be in a community where you are talking to people who are on the same journey and want the same out of it and don't just think it's a waste of time really, really does make a difference, because it shows that you're not alone, that there are other people out there that are like you and are willing to help you and push you on and not dismiss your ideas or what you're doing. And honestly, it makes such a difference to have that, especially on those down days where you just feel like there's no point because there's no support around you. So that was huge. And also to the friendships I made on the course, I met some amazing, amazing people, and I'm so grateful to have met them. And I never would have met them had I not done this. So thanks to Ali and his course, and thanks to those awesome people that I've met and I now speak to all the time and have genuinely made my life better. Now, I just want to come back to the peer support sessions, not because I was one, But because I do think that these were incredibly valuable, and I know that the people that turned up found them very valuable. So if you are thinking of joining Cohort 2 and don't really think that it's necessary for you to turn up to the peer support sessions, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you at least turn up to the first 1 or 2, or at least some of them in the first week, just to get a feel for them and then decide. Because honestly, I got so much value out of them. It was so good to see people just connecting with each other and feeding off each other and bouncing ideas around, that it was just great energy. But it also meant that we could help people that were feeling a little lost or behind. And again, it's such a great feeling to help people. So yeah, it was amazing. And I guess from my point of view of being a peer supporter, it was amazing to see things from the other side. Now, as a peer supporter, we're not somebody who is teaching or anything like that. I more saw myself as a facilitator of conversations and ideas, rather than somebody trying to tell people what to do, because let's be honest, there were people on the course that were way, way, way ahead of me and so much better. I actually felt like an imposter going in and being a peer supporter, if I'm completely honest, because my YouTube experience was fake, at least to me. It was based on podcasts and not real videos. So to think that I was one step ahead of people was a little crazy. I was like, really? Me? But I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad that nobody else thought I was an imposter. At least they didn't tell me if they did. And I think they really enjoyed it and were grateful for it. And if they weren't, then I'm sorry. But yeah, honestly, it was a great experience, and I'm thankful to everyone who turned up to the sessions and participated and make my life easier. But also, yeah, please use them, because I think it's so easy to dismiss something like that, and I think you could regret it. I, for one, for the first week, only turned up to my own. And then afterwards, I started going to more of them, and I realised just how valuable they actually are, getting people's inputs and getting other people's insights, and just rocking up with questions and saying, guys, I need help, I'm totally stuck. And getting that support is incredible. So highly, highly recommend that over anything else, especially if you're somebody who needs the accountability rather than the actual content. Then this is huge. So I just want to end on one final note, in that people might say, well, is there really anything new in this course? Can't the content just be found elsewhere? And honestly, yes, it absolutely can. There's nothing new in here. There was no mind-blowing secret formula. It was all stuff that probably most of us knew, but it's different when it's all put together for you, and it's different when you pay money, if I'm completely honest. I bought a YouTube course for about £70 and I haven't touched it because it wasn't the same. So yes, I think if you want something to keep you accountable and going back to that intense 4-week period, this is definitely it. But what I will say is that you will only get out what you put in. So to answer the question of, is it worth it? Yes, I thought it was 100% worth it and would highly recommend it to most people. But I would only recommend it to people that were actually serious about it and willing to put in the work. It's not easy. It's very easy to get overwhelmed and give up. But most things in life that are worth doing can be overwhelming and aren't easy, and you need to put in the work. So that doesn't change my recommendation. If it was easy and it was just, hey, do these 5 steps and you'll become an amazing YouTuber, then everyone would be doing it. And that's kind of not the point. I think people have a misconception that YouTube is easy because, oh, you just have to rock up and film yourself. But there are so many things that go into filming a YouTube video, some of which you might never have thought of. But like anything else that's worth doing, you need to put in the time and investment. And it's the same as going to the gym. You can't turn up to the gym and work out once or twice and expect to see overnight results. It's exactly the same with YouTube. You need to put the work in and you need to be consistent. And that message will be reiterated. There is no secret formula to success. It is ultimately about consistency, putting in the reps, and having that 1% improvement every single time. And effectively, that's what you'll be told on the course. So if you are looking for a secret formula, this is not the course for you. But if you need some accountability, some guidance, you just want to know a bit more information about what's involved in YouTube but are willing to put in the work and the time and the effort, then this is one of the best courses that I think you could take. No, I don't have anything to compare it to, but I know that it was incredibly valuable, and all the content is there for life, so I'm not going to lose it. I can continually go back to it and refresh my memory. I'm not going to have taken everything on board and suddenly churn out videos that have incorporated everything. That's never ever going to happen. But the idea is that you consistently put out content, and every single video has an improvement versus the previous video. And that's the only way you're going to succeed. But it's also not a quick journey. And one thing actually I will say is that it can be very easy to look at other people on the course and feel down, or start comparing yourself to others and think, oh, we both started on the course, but so-and-so has got X subscribers or is doing so much better than me, or, oh my God, look at their content and look at their background and look at their lighting and look at their camera. But if we concentrate on other people, we're not concentrating on ourselves. So how can we possibly ever get better? It's good to look at those people and maybe aspire to be like them, or just aspire to be better and have something to aim for. But comparison is the thief of joy, people. My favorite quote ever. And I do have to daily remind myself of this. I'll be honest, I almost didn't put this video out. I almost didn't even film this video because there were better ones out there. But then I remembered what was on the course and what was taught, and it's all about consistency and putting the reps in. And if I didn't do this video, then how am I going to improve? I'll rock up next time and be like, oh, well, I'm still not that good. And then that's going to carry on, and I'll never actually do anything worthwhile. So no, this is not going to be the best video ever. And no, this is not going to be my best video either, because I will continuously improve each time. And I'd like you to hold me to that. So please, if you are subscribed or watching this and you want to kind of point out that I'm not doing what I said I would be doing, then feel free to tell me I'm not doing it. So in summary, yes, I think it is 100% worth it, and no, I do not think you'll regret it if you join Cohort 2. However, if you do, there is a money-back guarantee, which I think is amazing. So if you go through the course and don't find it valuable, then Ali says he'll give you your money back, no questions asked. However, if you are joining Cohort 2, then I will also be there, so drop me a hi and let me know you're on it, and it would be great to see you. If you guys found this video at all useful, have any further questions, or have any constructive feedback on my video making skills, then I'd love to hear from you, so please leave me a comment down below. Or if you have a couple of minutes spare, I'd love for you to check out my podcast channel. Otherwise, have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!